Most people think information systems started when computers entered offices. That's not true. The history of information systems is much older than computers. It started the moment humans needed to record, organize, and use information to make better decisions. Think about ancient civilizations. Egyptians recorded taxes, crops, and workers on papyrus. Merchants kept trade records. Empires maintained census data, military lists, and land ownership records. These were not digital systems, but they were still information systems because they collected information, stored it, and used it for control, planning, and decision-making. Then came the age of paper-based business systems. Before computers, companies used ledgers, filing cabinets, invoices, payroll books, inventory cards, and handwritten reports. A shopkeeper needed to know what was sold, what was left in stock, who owed money, and how much profit was made. The tools were slow, but the purpose was the same: turn information into action. The real shift came in the 20th century. Businesses became larger. Banks, factories, airlines, governments, and retailers started handling huge amounts of data. Manual systems were no longer enough. They were slow, expensive, and full of errors. This is where machines entered the story. One important figure was Herman Hollerith, who developed a punch card system for the 1890 U.S. Census. His machine helped process census data much faster than manual counting. Later, his company became part of what eventually became IBM. This was a major step toward automated information processing. Then, after World War II, computers started moving from military and scientific use into business. Early computers were huge, expensive, and mainly used by governments, banks, and large corporations. Their job was not fancy. They processed payroll, accounting, inventory, and transaction records. In the 1950s and 1960s, companies started using transaction processing systems. These systems handled routine business activities like sales, payments, reservations, payroll, and stock updates. This was the first major wave of business information systems. But businesses soon realized something important. Computers should not only process transactions, they should also help managers understand the business. That led to Management Information Systems, or MIS, in the 1960s and 1970s. MIS turned business data into reports for managers. Instead of waiting days or weeks for manual reports, managers could now see sales, costs, inventory, and performance more clearly. Then came decision support systems in the 1970s and 1980s. These systems were designed to help managers make complex decisions using models, forecasts, and what-if analysis. The focus shifted from only recording what happened to helping predict what could happen next. In the 1980s and 1990s, personal computers changed everything. Information systems were no longer only for big corporations with mainframes. Offices started using spreadsheets, word processors, databases, and local networks. Employees could now work directly with information instead of depending completely on central computer departments. Then, the internet arrived. In the 1990s and early 2000s, information systems became connected. Companies could communicate with customers, suppliers, banks, and branches through websites, emails, online portals, e-commerce platforms. This changed business forever. Amazon, eBay, online banking, airline booking systems, and digital supply chains all grew from this era. After that came enterprise systems. Companies started using ERP systems to connect finance, HR, inventory, sales, purchasing, and operations into one integrated system. CRM systems helped companies manage customer relationships. Supply chain management systems helped track suppliers, warehouses, deliveries, and stock movement. The goal was no longer just storing information, the goal was integration. Then cloud computing changed the game again. Instead of keeping systems only on local servers, businesses started using cloud platforms. This made systems more flexible, scalable, and accessible from anywhere. A small business could now use tools that once only large companies could afford. Today, we are entering the AI era of information systems. Modern systems are no longer just recording data or showing reports. They are recommending actions, detecting fraud, predicting demand, automating workflows, answering questions, and helping businesses make faster decisions. But here is the main lesson from history. The tools changed, from papyrus to paper, from punch cards to mainframes, from PCs to the internet, from cloud to AI. But the purpose stayed the same: collect information. organize it, process it, use it to make better decisions. That is the real history of information systems. It is not just the history of computers. It is the history of how humans learn to manage complexity through information. At the Learning Studio, the goal is simple: to understand how these systems evolved, why businesses became dependent on them, and how today's AI-powered systems are just the next chapter in a very old story. The story of turning information into power.